On the 2nd of January 2021, DFDS will commence sailings on a new ferry route between Rosslare Europort and the port of Dunkirk in northern France. The route will be serviced by 3 ferries, each with the capacity in the region of 125 lorries of both accompanied and unaccompanied unit. DFDS Seaways Ireland are proud to announce this morning the route will commence with the chartered ships of the MS Visby and the MV Corry, along with our own DFDS ship, the Optimus Seaways. The route will initially be serviced with 6 weekly departures from each port, with a crossing time of 23 hours and 50 minutes. From the outset, the service will be predominantly seen as a freight service, reserving all cabins for freight drivers, as the route has been initiated to support the Irish industry. However, in the future, we might open up to accommodating passengers post-COVID-19. A new company, DFDS Seaways Ireland Limited, has been formed under the stewardship of the DFDS AS umbrella in Denmark to develop this essential route to give direct connectivity to Ireland to and from central mainland Europe post-Brexit. DFDS has 154 years of experience in international shipping and have a very large team of industry professionals on hand as we develop this new direct service. We at DFDS are extremely pleased to offer customers in Ireland the opportunity to transport their goods directly to or from other EU countries without the customs formalities and the possible waiting times that the end of the Brexit transition period will bring about for the road haulage industry. The route will be registered as a regular shipping service, ensuring all goods transported remain within the single market and customs union. Over the past 9 months, we have carried out extensive market research in all areas, including volume, capacity, speed, frequency, and most importantly, location of ports. Both Rosslare Europort and the Port of Dunkirk were selected for their strategic locations, accessibility and preparedness for Brexit, with both having systems in place to ensure direct free-flowing access for European-bound traffic. The timing and frequency is also important, as upon arrival in Dunkirk or Rosslare, the drivers will be fully rested and can continue driving immediately and be able to reach their many major destinations within their legal driving limit. In addition to this, the sea voyage will reduce the dependency on the UK land bridge and open direct opportunities for trade within EU's single market. Since the announcement of our service on the 27th of November last, we have received many inquiries and bookings for the service, as many manufacturers and producers, along with the haulage industry professionals, are looking for new direct routes to mainland Europe, whilst keeping their goods within the single market. The new line will create jobs and activities in Rosslare and Cork, where DFDS will be represented by new offices and in Dunkirk. In Ireland, the route will be led by myself, Aidan Coffey, as Route Director, and Darren Mooney as Sales and Customer Service Director. We are extremely grateful for the support we have experienced from the Port of Rosslare, namely their General Manager, Glenn Carr, and his team, and the Port of Dunkirk. Their flexibility, professionalism, and excellent cooperation has enabled us to be ready with this service before the end of the transition period at the end of the year. We are confident that this service will benefit customers on both sides of the route. We also wish to acknowledge the assistance of the Department of Transport, Marine, Customs and Revenue, An Gardaí, and the Oireachtas for their assistance to date in helping us to bring this service to fruition in such a short period of time. We look forward to continue working with them over the coming weeks as we prepare for the launch on January 2nd. We wish to thank you and the committee for the opportunity to make this statement and acknowledging the importance of the transport sector to the Irish economy here today. I suppose about the IMDO report, well, there's 2 reports there, I suppose. You've got an initial report, which was back in 2019, which there was 3 million tonnes of goods that were being transported out, and it equated to 150,000 units. I think Eugene Drennan there from the IRHA brought up a point there that it was actually, that was based on tonnage and not necessarily on the number of units that were being carried out. When you actually equate back into the average weight per truck unit and allowing for the empty units that are returning back in as well and going out, that the number is actually much larger than actually 150,000 units. The second report recently there got to do with stating that there was a sufficient capacity. Well, I think in that particular instance, it was the 4 main existing ferry operators that were actually asked to give an answer to that, and I don't think they actually there was any questions put to the industry users such as the IRHA and the other logistics companies as to what their views were. I suppose in ourselves, that report actually did put us on the back foot. Luckily enough, we had a good solid case. It was actually put us on the back foot just as we were looking to get approved by the board of directors of DFDS AS in Denmark. But thankfully, they were able to see the light, and we had a very good presentation put forward. I suppose, looking on the basis of that report, I wouldn't like to be banking the Irish economy on the back of that report.
So are you saying, Mr. Coffey, that the actual effect and the inaccuracies contained in the IMDO report could have scuppered the DFDS engagement with Rosslare and eventual service?
It most certainly put us to the pin of our collar. We had to react. That report went. It was announced unusually for a government to report. I suppose it was announced very quickly to the media and to the market, and that report actually went I suppose global, if you want to call it. It most certainly went Europe-wide.
Thanks.
We had many contacts back from both France, from Belgium, from Germany, and of course Denmark itself as well, saying, "What is this report? What's happening?" It's all stating that there's sufficient capacity.
Is there anything else that needs to be done that's not being done that would make it would I suppose facilitate your putting such a new route in place from the start of January, Mr. Coffey? That's not happening at state or port level. Well,
just if I could make a quick comment there. First of all, in terms of the opening hours, the ports, both Rosslare Europort and the port of Dunkirk would be both operable 24 hours, 7 days a week. So I don't see any reason why the other ports wouldn't be able to do it. That was one of the reasons why we actually selected Rosslare Europort and Dunkirk themselves as well, for their accessibility, not just for the road networks going into them, but also for the access at all times. In terms, Chairman, is there anything that can be done? Yes, there's a considerable cost in setting up a new route, and let it be not just this route, but I'm sure Mr. Matthew will actually agree with me as well in setting up any route. There's a considerable cost to set up these routes, and of course there could be some level of assistance, subsistence, maybe not necessarily directly on the actual routes themselves. But one of the situations we have ourselves in Dunkirk is where we have clandestines and illegal immigrants. We've got significant infrastructure where we have to put in place to ensure that there's no illegal migrants coming on board the vessels, and also into the trailers belong to the hauliers that are going to use us. So yes, there is some assistance that I don't know whether it be the Department of Foreign Affairs or the Department of the Department of the Taoiseach, whoever may be able to try and offer some level of assistance to try and help new routes that would be developing. I know there was various different funds that were brought out, the Brexit fund, and certain other funds, but none of these funds will actually assist anything in transport. We had approached the Enterprise Ireland, we had approached the IDA, we'd approached many different departments, and there's the Brexit fund, which at this point I actually don't even think the Brexit fund has been fully utilised and fully used up, primarily because it is for existing stakeholders that are there that don't have to prove that they need assistance, and those funds are just sitting there going idle inside in the banks because the banks control them, and they're not actually releasing the funds to the companies and the people that actually need them. So yes, we had approached the Brexit fund we'd on several occasions, and we were point blank told that there was no assistance whatsoever, and that included for the various other departments. So we have actually progressed this whole project throughout the whole process from the outset, based on our own private funds, and with no assistance from any government departments. The capacity wise at the moment, we are finding a lot of capacity, a lot of pre-bookings at the moment, and I suppose looking with the services that we have, the schedule that we have identified at the moment, that the capacity will be outstripped, possibly quite early. To that end,
context, Mr. Coffey, do you expect when you start the route to Dunkirk from Rosslare on the 2nd of January, your ferry will be full?
we're quite confident. Yes, all the ferries will be full in not just the eastbound but also westbound. The number of bookings at the moment are significant.
And do you yourself?
To that end,
could you put additional ferry capacity on that basis?
That we kind of have to monitor just at the moment, because of course it's very hard just to kind of see the full post-Brexit reaction. It would help if we knew what the UK and Europe are going to decide to do. So look, at and because as Eugene Drennan had said, there's a lot of overstocking in terms of a lot of companies who are bringing in a lot of loads now at the moment. So we need to be cautious that we don't get a false number, and that yes, pre-bookings might look good at the moment, but we just have to maybe monitor and see. So we're going to monitor it in the first couple of weeks of January, and we'll see from there. And if need be, we can actually step up the frequency with the 3 ships that we have.